This is the reality. The time that you're spending emailing back and forth, quoting, and all that stuff is time that you could be spent generating income. You could be spending that time generating something.
Mm-hmm.
It's super important to do something where you could define the offer. Define the offer, define your prices, and put it on a platform so that you can start making things more automated. Welcome everybody again to another session of Creators One-on-One Live. This show is really designed to help you guys grow, to help you guys learn from other people. And also it's a way for me to connect with my customers and help them push through challenges that they're going through right now to help my customers and the audience grow. So welcome guys. Remember to like and subscribe, make some comments. DM me if you guys are interested in joining a Creators Live. I'd love to have you guys. And also it helps other people find the show. So today I'm super excited to have Mike here with Nav Design. Mike, welcome to the show. I really appreciate you being here, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Victor. I appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out and asking if I want to be part of such a great community topic. So I'm interested and can't wait to get started. So
awesome. Yeah, and our goal here is just that, Mike. I want to build a community of entrepreneurs that are really winning and they're dominating with their products. And that's why I do these things. Why don't we start a little bit telling us about you, what you do, what your background is, what you're doing now, and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. That way we can get some context for everyone.
Yeah, so right now I have a full-time job. I'm a network engineer. I've been doing that for 19 years. I've been looking for ways to supplement my income a little bit. As you know, living in Orange County, it's not the easiest place to live and be able to afford certain things. So I went into looking in ways to help, supplement my income, like I said. So I started out with stickers, vinyl decals, and heat transfer. And I started doing that just on the side with my kids, helping them with their baseball dues and fees. As you know, travel baseball is expensive, and it's not cheap.
Yeah, that's right.
So I've been doing this I started doing that for a year, and over the year I started getting people asking me, "Hey, can you do shirts? Can you do embroidery? Can you do screen print?" And at the time I'm like, "No, I don't do that. I don't know how to do any of that."
Yeah.
So I started thinking hey, maybe there's something there for me to look into. So I stopped saying no and I started saying yes. Even though I didn't know how to do it or where to go, I just started brokering out certain jobs.
I love that. Started saying yes.
So I figured, hey, yeah, I can do it, not knowing how. And I just found people who would do stuff for me. I wasn't making money. If anything, I was losing money, but at the same time, it allowed me to grow a small business that allowed me to start getting customers.
Yeah.
So with that being said, as more of this started coming, more jobs started coming, more people started coming out of nowhere, and it led me to you guys. So that's how I started, and that's where I'm at now. So now I'm at the point where I'm doing DTG printing.
The Direct Treater Dual is the brand new pre-treatment machine by OmniPrint International Inc. This pre-treatment machine is the first ever unveiled by OmniPrint and is designed to provide versatility between pre-treatment system types. By tradition, pre-treatment machines were limited to being designated as either a closed or open-top system. With the Direct Treater Dual, the user can choose between one or the other instead of being limited to one type. This empowers the user to take on a pre-treatment job of any size, whether an a la carte job using the closed drawer system, or bulk jobs using the removable side-loading platen and foot pedal to allow stacking and hands-free production-style pre-treating. In addition to its versatility, the Direct Treater Dual features a bottle reservoir system, allowing you to easily switch pre-treatment solutions, clean the lines, and purge into the waste bottle with minimal messes. The diaphragm pump and pre-treatment delivery system allows for quiet, consistent spray patterns while regulating air pressure and preventing gaps in the line. The Direct Treater Dual has transformed and simplified the pre-treatment process by giving an all-in-one versatile solution with the required consistent results for DTG print shops of all sizes to thrive. The Direct Treater Dual Pre-Treatment Machine by OmniPrint International Inc.
That's awesome, man. That's a great story. So let's back up a little bit because it's super important. You're a professional in a career for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times, I would say you're like kind of like the top nerds like me. They go and they get, super educated on stuff. For example, my education is like electronics and computers, right? And remember when we're in school, it's like all you want to do, and you think it's the end all be all, It's like that's how you're gonna make it. And then like after so many years, you realize that you're just like some cost for someone that they're trying to have the lowest cost of, right? Like being a professional, it's secure, everything that you think of that you're going to feel secure with, right? But then as the years pass by, you're thinking, shit, like, am I really that secure? And you decided instead of coming home and like turning on the TV and pounding a beer, you're going to start doing something. So you start small, you start doing stuff, for your kids,
Right.
your kids' teams.
Mm-hmm.
And that's super important because sometimes people think that, they can't do anything else if they have a professional job.
Right.
Like what made you think like, all right, I'm going to start doing something, even though you're a professional and you're in the IT space, in Orange County, which is like a high-end place to be in the IT space. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what made you start doing that?
So a lot of it was my kids.
Yeah.
We're driving my kids into learning something and learning how to do something for themselves to earn something because, nowadays you got to be able to teach people and kids that nothing's for free in this world, that you got to work for what you need and for what you want.
Yeah.
And giving my kids something to look forward to and to doing something and to provide something for somebody and then get rewarded for it, it goes both ways. So my kids are always looking for ways to, I'm not going to say make money, but how to do the next thing to help them grow and pay for their baseball. And, so it's really more of a teaching moment in teaching my kids how to just strive to be better, how to do things and how to work for something and not always expect something for free.
That's great. So you're thinking that like if you can help them expand their mind when they're young, maybe they don't have to like make choices to be in one spot. They can learn how to take time and multiply money by providing services to people instead of, exchanging hours for a fee,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a great point. And especially right now, Mike, where everybody's really looking at like, what can I do? My kids are online all day. All their stuff's paid for all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of parents decide to put their kids to work.
Yeah.
I grew up having to work, so I know how that goes. But right now, it's like a little bit taboo,
Right. Yeah.
So that's super cool. And then, as you're like progressing, you're in a spot where do you feel that you're gaining a little bit more control of your income and your future if something happens with your job?
Yeah, so right now it's been pretty steady to where it's not to the point where I can quit my job,
Yeah.
but it's the point where it's enough money to where I can save and put back into the business and scale it out where I want it to go.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that with today's technology, as you know, it's always changing.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to stay on top of that to see what's out there, what's the latest, what's the greatest, what are people doing, what are some of the other printers here in Orange County doing to combat, the whole COVID and what's happening. So there's always a niche for different things. And I just think staying on top of that and making it work for you so that hopefully later down the road, maybe I could quit my job and do this full time, and that's the goal.
Yeah.
But it's baby steps,
Yeah, exactly.
I can't just drop everything I'm doing and then assume that I'm going to be this, printer that's going to be printing out 15,000 shirts a month. I don't think that's possible at this time.
Yeah.
It's going to take time. It's going to take money. It's going to take practice, and it's going to take, things like what you're doing with OmniPrint and helping grow and scale the company, my company.
And I see it a lot, Mike, where people are kind of strapped, right? But they have a job, they're doing all right, but they got to pay for the for the nice car, and they got to pay for the nice house and all that stuff. Education is expensive. Sports are expensive when they're around. So you decided, all right, well, I'm going to start building something to supplement, start scaling it, and then give yourself the confidence to start making a second flow of income so that it's not so scary when something happens.
Right.
I mean, right now you're like doing okay, but again, you're doing it in a time where others choose to go home and watch Netflix and drink a beer.
Right.
You're doing in that extra time, where if you actually were doing it full time, it's a different story, right? You actually have more time to build it and scale it. So you're doing it in a controlled way where you can start making extra income, put money away, reinvest back in, reinvest into your knowledge and your education, and then ensure you have like a flow coming in,
right,
secondary to your first flow. And that's super important, because people don't, a lot of the times they don't do that, you know? And so I really commend you for doing that and starting something that will help your future, you know?
Right. And really, I don't look at it as trying to be big in today's, like now, tomorrow. I'm really doing more of like a 3-year plan, 4-year plan, where everything I'm making, I'm reinvesting. I'm not pocketing any of that money to go out and splurge on, like you said, cars and other things. It's going back into the printer. It's going back into materials. It's going back into a fun to where, like you said, if something does happen, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, next week. There got to be something. You got to have a plan. Yep. So I'm hoping, in 3 years, with everything that I'm making, I'm putting back, it'll be paid off. And then 3 years, I'll build a clientele, build a customer base to where now everything that comes in, it's all pocket. There's no expensive. There's no. So I'm not doing it for luxury now. I'm thinking more 3 years down the road, and that's.
I'm not surprised. Like the IT security guy has a plan.
Yeah. No, you got to have a plan, right? Yeah. There's Murphy's Law, and if you know Murphy's Law, anything that can happen will, and you just don't know. It's just, you just got to plan, and nothing is guaranteed in life, and it's just it's crazy how it works. But if you have a plan and you stick to it and you follow it, you could be all right. It'll be tough, but you'll be okay.
This is the FreeJet 330TX Plus, the leader in award-winning direct-to-garment printers. For the first time, not only can this DTG printer print on cotton and blend garments, but the FreeJet 330TX Plus can successfully print on 100% light and dark polyester, a feat that no other DTG printer has accomplished. This process is achieved by implementing Gamut Plus inks. These groundbreaking inks play a key role in the printing process, successfully printing full color, full detail designs on 100% dark polyester, as well as light poly, dark and light cotton, and blends alike. No other ink on the market achieves this level of vibrancy and print quality like Gamut Plus. As with all of our printers, the FreeJet 330TX Plus is equipped with a bulk ink delivery system, which completely eliminates the need for a cartridge-based system. This allows you to refill your ink bottles as needed without dealing with the clutter and costly inefficiency associated with ink cartridges. Within the bulk ink delivery system, we have also implemented automatic white ink circulation. This feature directly prevents white ink separation by circulating the white ink throughout the day in between printing, reducing the need to perform multiple head cleans or purges when idle, saving you money on white ink. Setting the print height manually is a thing of the past with the new fully automated print height adjustment. With a touch of 2 buttons, your printer will automatically set the print height, saving the time and effort involved in manual height adjustment. The cutting-edge laser sensors in the gantry ensure your platen never goes too high, drastically reducing the risk of issues involving print height. The wet cap system equipped in the printer prevents the print head from drying or clogging, allowing your printer to remain idle for up to 1 month without the need for flushes, which other printers require on a monthly or quarterly basis. The FreeJet 330TX Plus proudly boasts the lowest production and maintenance costs among the top DTG printers in the industry, ultimately saving you money and maximizing your profits. The FreeJet 330TX Plus, available now from OmniPrint International. Call today for a free personalized demo.
Honestly, Mike, like for me, I started small as well. I used, the power of broke, where you probably heard it from Damon John and those guys.
Hmm.
Staying broke is super important because you actually reinvest into the future. I drove my '05 Infinity for 10 years. I just sold it, which is like teardrop.
Yeah.
But there's the thing. During that time, I'm building a big business. I'm reinvesting back. I'm like buying real estate. And I'm driving an old car, man. And that's how I did it. So the power of staying broke is super important for you, because that way you're not like, maybe you got a little bit more income. You could buy a nicer car, but that's not what it's for.
Right.
It's for the future. So I'm glad you're doing that. And you're saying like, all right, make sure you have a plan and start small and start working, start doing something that you can fall back on, and make sure that you're not just winging stuff and doing it to spend some money, right? That's a super good lesson. Yeah, IT guy for 20 years, you get your own business going, you start saying yes instead of no. That's super important. And then you're making a plan. What can you tell me, like, for you, now that you're getting some orders in and you're making some income, like, what kind of challenges are next for you that you're having that I could help you with, since I already went through a lot of it too?
Yeah. So challenges is the right word. There's always going to be challenges,
Yeah.
right? My biggest challenge is finding a way to streamline the process. Right now, everything is via text, via email, via Instagram. How much for your shirts? What's your minimum? How do I order? Stuff like that. And if there was a way where I can just direct people to a website, everything is driven, seamlessly, where it's just you go up there, upload your photo, your site, everything is just there. It'll make my life a lot easier, because I'll be working and my phone's blowing up, people asking for quotes. They want stuff now, they want stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
So right now, I think that's my biggest challenge, is just directing people to a location where they can be self-sufficient with the information they want, and everything is in front of them, whereas it's not repetitive questions. Hey, how much are your shirts, or what's your minimum? It's just it's a constant,
And it's crazy. And like, this keeps coming up, Mike. And this is the reality, that the time that you're spending emailing back and forth, quoting, and all that stuff is time that you could be spent generating income. You could be spending that time generating something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, like, it's super important to do something where you could define the offer, define your prices, and put it on a platform so that you can start making things more automated. So like, one of the things I can do to help you is we have actually been working. I told you guys, the audience, about our workflow software that we have, like, for bigger shops to print and scan and all that in the past. During COVID times, I decided to, like, figure out how I'm going to help my customers, help people out there get online fast, streamline their orders, and make it affordable. We retuned our entry-level package. I think we were at somewhere at $199 a month. But what we ended up doing is doing a basic software version for our work for $99. And I'm going to give it to you so you could try it for a couple months. But basically, what it's doing, Mike, is you set up your products up there. You define your prices. It's doing everything for you, and it's one place you could send your customers to.
Right.
And we also, what we did is, before, it didn't include any Shopify integrations, and the basic didn't really include that much. It was more entry level. But what we did is we expanded the features and we reduced the price to help people try it out and get online. Because this is the thing, all the text messages, all the DMs, all that stuff, you really, like, waste so much time with the customer, and a lot of times they don't order because they don't have an easy way to see upload their image, what it's going to look like, how much it is, in an easy way, without you like babying them through the process.
Right.
So this happened to me a long time ago, and as many of you guys know, I used to print at night. So I used to print at night, and then I would, like, work on the machines and development and support during the day, and then I would print at night. So I know what it takes to do a print job, and the back and forth with customers, and hey, send me a mock-up. What's it going to look like? All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't get paid for it.
Nope.
And people expect it free now. So the best thing you can do is like stop wasting that time doing it and get on a platform, whether it's hours or not, that give you the ability to free up that time for you to do orders.
Right.
You know, so I would recommend you try that out and then start sending people there to put in the orders, you know, and
Yeah,
it has
great.
all the stuff. If you charge for Excels, you know, you could program that in. If you have a rush fee, you could put it in. You'll start seeing really fast which customers really think it's a rush or not when you start charging them right then and there, right?
Right. Yep.
When they talk to you on the phone, it's always a rush.
Mm-hmm.
They want it free. You know, on the other side, it makes you organize yourself. Everything that's on your dashboard that's a pending order, you see it there. And you also don't have to produce anything until it's paid, right? So you don't have those people that never pick up the order and all that stuff. There's just a lot of drama there. So, for example, in my business, I wasn't able to scale until I created a good offer. And then I made a process around it that made it easy for a sales rep or my sales reps or even myself for people to buy, you know? I mean, do you find yourself like quoting people all the time?
Yeah, I do. And there's times where I forget what I quote them, you know,
Seriously.
you know, and they'll come back next week. Hey, it's like, did I say that?
Yeah,
I don't remember. So it's just,
money.
yeah, it doesn't look good when you're unorganized and, you know, so I just think it's a little more professional when you have a place for someone to go to and see something, you know, it gives that person a little more, you know, an understanding and a trust, you know, there's no trust issues, I should say.
Yep.
You know,
exactly.
because working out of my garage and not having a website, you know, a lot of people get turned away on that. And it's like, hey, look, at the end of the day, you're going to save money because I don't have the overhead that I have to pay, you know, but at the end of the day, I get it, you know, so that's the next goal. That's the next step in my plan is to, you know, the first step was to develop and to create what I have. The next step is to build a foundation on top of that and start, you know, showing people what it is that I am, who I am. Because right now, nobody knows who I am. Nobody, they just nav design. It's all word of mouth and it's just Instagram. So,
you know, but that's the start. That's the start, Mike. Like word of mouth is your first marketing. Then you have to develop your brand,
mm-hmm.
right? And you have to develop a good customer experience.
Mm-hmm.
Where they can go, what have you, you know, what can you do? What's your service offering? How much is it? How fast can I get it? And like, I don't know if you noticed, but people's attention span is not what it used to be, right? So people want the information super fast.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be able to order, know that they're ordering from a reputable place.
Right.
The only way to show them that is if you have your branding in line,
mm-hmm.
you know? So that'll be super important for you. Sergio, let's hook him up with Eric so he can set up a free trial for him. And then that way you can see what he can do on there, set up a couple products, test it out, and then, you know, make sure that like you can start fine tuning what that offer is. I got to tell you, it's like a pivotal step once you can fine tune your prices, once you can fine tune everything and your offer, because it can allow you to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the funny thing is just another challenge is just trying to just sustain pricing, right? Like everybody's coming, I'm sure everybody has this where they come to you saying, "Oh, this guy over here is charging me $5."
Yeah.
You know, okay, well, how is that any different from what I'm charging other than you getting a lower price? I mean, you're going to get the same quality, you're going to get the same customer service, or are you just, I mean, what are you getting? You know, and that's one thing that I get all the time is like, oh, they're always shopping, you know? So I'm always looking for ways to stand out and be different, you know, and value my price as just more than just a price. And, you know, so with the website and with, you know, what you're offering me and letting me try out, I'm sure that'll be a way to gain some trust.
These are Gamut Plus Next Generation Inks by OmniPrint International Inc. The new generation of inks scientifically engineered for improved color vibrancy, wash fastness, and print quality on a wide range of substrates, including 100% dark polyester and blends. The OmniPrint chemical engineering R&D team spent countless hours to formulate this new generation of DTG inks that can be successfully delivered via a digital inkjet print head, while still showcasing the vibrancy and intricate detail required for printing high-quality images up to 5760 DPI on a wide variety of garments including cotton, polyester, and blends. Gamut Plus Next Generation DTG Inks by OmniPrint International.
This might seem harsh, Mike, but do you think that pricing is a customer's hang-up, or is it something that you think is a hang-up?
I think it's a customer's hang up because I value what I do and the time and the effort and the things I do behind the price, customers aren't seeing.
Yeah.
So if they're looking for a cheap price, then they're going to get cheap work, you know, and if you want to value a low price shirt and not get quality work, then hey, then by all means go for it. I'm sure you'll be back, you know. And
yeah, exactly. So I think it might be something like what I would recommend with that, Mike. Like this is, and I want to give you stuff that I've already gone through and I already tried, not something that like I saw on Instagram and all. Like keep in mind that a lot of these challenges I went through, and that's why I'm doing this to help you guys like grow. And for example, we don't have the cheapest machine on the market. You know, I've never wanted to do that because I wanted to set ourselves apart in different ways. Recently, I read a book, The Blue Ocean Strategy, and it's saying that why compete with pricing, or why compete versus dominating in other different ways? Mm-hmm. You know, so for example, what I decided to do is, all right, I can't make the cheapest product, but what I can do is I can make it the best quality print, and then I can make it to where people are not going to lose an arm and a leg on their inks. You know, they're going to get the lowest cost of operation, and it could be low maintenance. I decided to do a different avenue instead of doing the cartridges, you know, instead of doing, you know, the high ink prices. And that meant that the machine had to be more expensive. I made the print engine move over the product, which gives you super fine detail, but that means the product needed to be more expensive. But then it was different. So I would say, like for you, you want to focus on what you do best. So you want to focus on the customer service, right, what you're offering them. You want to focus on the quality stuff that you give them, right? And then you set up a price list that works for you, that's fair, based on, you know, the product that you're actually providing. And then you hang your hat on that and you say, hey, you know what, this is what I provide. Most customers that are looking for that, because you'll find them, they're looking for the value and the quality and the delivery time. They're looking for that. And then you'll lose some of the ones that are not, because they're always the ones that are trying to find the cheapest stuff, right? The cheapest gallon of milk, the cheapest tire, the cheapest everything, right? You focus on the customers that you feel comfortable serving and that they value your work. I know it's easier said than done, but once you organize your offer and become confident of your branding, then the pricing part becomes easier.
Right.
That took me some time to learn, you know, and then that's why I want to tell you that chasing the price down is never the proper way for your business. At some point, there's no way that you should be going down any further, because then you're not making money.
Right. Absolutely. No, that's spot on right there. Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of changed it a little bit where I now start asking people like, you know, you got a budget. You got a budget. What is your budget? You know, so I kind of started working with people's budgets because, as you know, a lot of the people who are coming to me are people who have their own brands and they want merch.
Yeah.
And I understand that a lot of times they don't have the money to fund that.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to make money, not spend it, right?
Yep, exactly.
So part of my thing now is I just asked, you know, what's your budget? And if I can work with a budget, I work with a budget, you know. So I kind of scaled back a little bit on that, you know, but going forward, you know, this next part, next plan is, like you said, I'm going to hang my hat on my pricing and just, you know, it's time to go forward with what I think is right and just stick with it, you know.
Yeah. You'll build your branding, you'll build your reputation, and then that'll give you some confidence. As more people start buying at a fair price, you'll know that it's the right place to be.
Yeah, and another thing I started doing too is I started offering these little, I'm sure a lot of people do it, little special deals, 25 shirts for this price, and
Yeah.
sometimes I might not make much, but it brings in another customer of mine. And you never know, that 25 piece could turn into 1,000 piece. It could turn into 500 piece. It could turn
Yeah.
into something bigger than what I'm currently offering, as far as quantity goes. So I always look at ways to just to market myself and to just be different as
Yeah.
far as what I'm offering,
Yeah.
Same thing with baseball. When the baseball was happening, right now it's closed, but baseball was a big thing where I would go and I would hand out free shirts. I would go find baseball designs and buy them and print a bunch out and give them out to the kids and have my card in there and just say, hey, do me a favor. It's free. Just give me a shout out on your Instagram. And
That's
people
awesome.
people start following, and that's how I
Yeah.
gain a lot of my people. It's just giving out stuff and just promoting stuff and just asking to spread the word is all I ask. And word of mouth is a powerful marketing tool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And that's a good thing that you bring up, Mike, because a lot of the times you're out there putting an offer, right? So you put an offer out, you say, hey, I have this deal. A lot of the times people sit back and they say, hey, I'm not making any money. It's super important, guys, to make sure that you're out there offering a deal to somebody and making a promotion. Because, even if you buy equipment, the best equipment, the equipment doesn't dial the phone or do promotions for you.
Nope.
So that's why you have to have a long-term plan, and that's why you have to have promotions that you're going out there and marketing yourself so you can get the orders in. Because
Yeah.
without money coming in, orders coming in, you get demotivated. You can't get orders in without doing the work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sitting at home waiting for someone to click on your Instagram or call you. It's not, you got to be, you have to be on it. You have to be doing stuff. You got to find out ways to generate some type of, flow where people are seeing your stuff. And, my thing is, when baseball was around, that was a big hit for me, giving stuff away to the kids,
Yeah.
who better than to give stuff to kids, kids like it. They see it,
Yep. Yep.
so.
Then they can start seeing the quality you offer and all that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Workbridge 2020 is the newest automation system released by OmniPrint International Inc. as a successor for the previously award-winning Automation Bridge in 2018 and 2019. This new direct-to-garment print automation system from OmniPrint showcases an even more optimized scan-to-print process with the speed and simplicity required by most print shops facing high-volume print jobs. Workbridge 2020 is an upgrade from its predecessor, featuring a simpler user interface and a new improved barcode scanner with a label printer for generating automation barcodes on the fly. With a single scan of the barcode, any print job can be instantly queued up with all of the customer's predetermined grip software settings, including the brand, garment, and type, eliminating print errors and reducing setup times from minutes to seconds. Workbridge 2020 by OmniPrint International.
What are you doing different right now? Obviously, right now is a time of COVID where stuff gets shut down and all that. Like, obviously, your sports side was affected, right? Like, what are you doing to pivot?
So right now I started running Instagram ads, and that's been helping, and just reaching out to past customers and just, letting them know that I'm still working, I'm still going, and, offering, like I said before, deals. And so luckily I have a lot of repeat customers.
Yeah.
That are coming back to me. So that's a good sign. When you have repeat customers, that just means you're doing something right. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to look for different ways of marketing myself and offering different services. I started offering embroidery, and that's starting to pick up. So when shirts aren't hidden, I'm doing embroidery. When embroidery's not working, I'm doing screen printing. So
Yep.
not everybody wants direct to garment, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody wants screen printing. So I got to keep moving. If something's not working, I'm not going to spend too much time there. I'm going to move on to the next thing. If that's not working, I'm moving on to the next thing until I find something that's going to gain some interest. And I just, it's just a round robin. I just keep on going back and forth. I'm just moving pieces here, and just, it's very similar to IT. You're always constantly moving things. You're always constantly looking for ways to improve so I have that mentality of always working and looking for ways to make something bigger, better, how to scale it, and not just sit idle, waiting for people, like you said, to come to me.
The key thing, Mike, to touch there, to unpack a little bit for people, is that guys, you always have to have different products and offers for your customers so that they can interact with you in different ways. You know, don't get stuck on one thing, even if you have to outsource, even if you have to like do stuff like, especially in decoration and printing, like you always have like so many methods of getting anything done depending on the customer's job, right? A lot of people like they like sticking to one thing, but you guys are missing out because that customer is going to another shop where they might have all of the services.
Yep.
And you're missing out.
Yep.
So make sure that you have a complete offering that can get their customer job. Some customers just do screen printing, right? So if somebody wants a full color print and they just want one, they just turn people away.
Yeah.
You know what? My minimum's 100, my minimum's 50, whatever. Guess what that customer's doing? They're going to another shop that has DTG, screen printing, embroidery, different places, and they end up going there because it's a one-stop shop.
Absolutely. Nobody wants to travel different places for different items.
Yep.
And that's why I did what I did. You know, I went out to my local embroidery screen print. Hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Do you have broker pricing? And they give me special pricing to where I don't do nothing. I just advertise it and give them the work. You're the middle guy and stuff gets done. You get paid. Yeah, you're not going to get paid a lot of money, but like you said, it's going to keep that customer coming to you because you're offering all the services. And I think that's a great way to open up your area of services because you just don't know. It's worth it. It's worth talking to your local screen printers because half the time they're turning away work because they don't want to do the short runs. And they're just saying, nope, can't do them. So now you're building relationships with these guys, embroidery where, hey, you don't have DTG, I can do it. Start sending your customers to me. You make some money, I make some money. And you build a network, right? You build a network of customers and owners of different shops, and you become this big fulfillment center where you're just working with each other, you're all making money, and customers are happy and they keep coming back.
Yeah, and that's key, guys. So make sure that you have several products you can offer, you know, and double down and actually call your customer base, right? Like these are great lessons, Mike. Call your customers, let them know you're still alive, and let them know that you have an offer. It might sound fundamental, but you'd be surprised how many people don't do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just, like you said, like to sit back and just wait. And, you know, it's not easy. It's tough. You know, you have to stay consistent. You got to offer the latest and greatest. You can't just sit back and hope and assume stuff's just going to be given to you, because if you're not staying on top of it and you're not constantly doing it, offering, you're going to be waiting. You're just going to get put behind, and you're just not going to learn. You're just not going to be on top of the game with everybody else, because again, everybody's doing it. There's a lot of competition, and if you're not investing, if you're not putting it back into your company, you're going to fall behind. And that's just, it's simple. And I've seen it.
Yep.
You know, and that's how it is with IT. You know, just real quick, a quick example. This whole COVID thing hit, and think about all the companies who weren't prepared, who weren't set up for remote work. Think about all the money that they had to put up front, millions of dollars, just so that their employees can work from home. And even then, I can imagine what the troublesome was getting them to work properly.
Yep.
So, and that just goes for you know, my company, and I'm sure everybody else, is have a plan, save your money, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Stuff will happen, you know, just be prepared and be ready to where if direct to garment's not working, it's not flowing, there has to be another thing that can get the money flowing in and help pay for the bills. And
exactly, it's a mix of services that you offer, you know, and that's super important. You know, we've been doing a lot to, you know, ever since COVID hit, we were like, shit, what do we do? My first instinct was, all right, I got to do more. I got to get in front of my customers and push them, motivate them, and let them know that I'm here. You know, we did the biggest like conference in our industry. We had like 1,700 people, 6 hours long. And it was more of like, get out there, pushing people to do e-commerce, helping people with sales, that kind of stuff. Staying in front of the customer to motivate and let them know that we're still here. You know, like my people are working from home. I have salespeople and tech support, training. Everybody's working from home. You know, luckily, all of our systems are web-based from the way I designed it, nerd status. So I didn't have any issues. There, like, bam, there was no downtime for us when it came to having our people work from home. But the idea of being able to do something to let your customers know that you're in front of them and helping them out is super important, you know? So we've been doing a lot of that. I think that for print on demand, the market's been growing because of e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows where the market's going to be, right? So the fundamentals, you know, we're doing them. We're making sure that our customers know that we're here for them. That's why I'm doing these sessions to help people grow.
LiveStores 2020 is the newest web-based front-end personalization platform by OmniPrint International Inc. With LiveStores 2020, DTG print businesses can automate the ordering process and empower customers to choose their own garments, upload their designs, and enter the print settings, ultimately eliminating print error and time-consuming correspondence with the customer. LiveStores 2020 features a new customizable front-end site builder which can match your branding style and easily be embedded into any of your existing websites. With this feature, print businesses can open their revenue stream to digital sales and even start offering simpler fulfillment for wholesale clients by creating additional front-end sites where their customers can place orders which then sync up to your order's backend. LiveStores 2020 by OmniPrint International.
How would you say your interaction has been with us so far, Mike?
So far, it's been great. I don't have any complaints, any issues. Marvin was my sales guy. He's always in communication with me.
Marvin, shout out to Marvin.
Yeah, he's great. And Serafin is another guy. He's always calling me, making sure my printer's running smooth and, you know, any issues. So things like that, it just makes the customer experience just that much better when you know you got somebody who's following up and making sure things are okay and not waiting for me to call them upset, disgruntled because something's not working or whatnot. So there's that buffer that they provide, that you guys provide as a company. And, you know, it's been great so far. You know, even Mitchell with, I'm there all the time buying stuff, and Mitchell's always there hooking me up with, you know, making sure my order's good. And so it starts from the bottom and it works from the top. Right. And
yeah, I appreciate
it's been good. You know, Search too. Yeah, Search too on Facebook. You know, he's reaching out, he's doing his thing, and you know, I understand you can't get to everybody. You know, but
it's a thing that we're always challenged. And you know, with IT and support, like right now, we're growing the team. A lot of people are actually relying more on their income from the printers. They let them sit for a little bit. It takes longer to get them back up and running when they don't maintain them. But the reality is I'm focused on improving customer experience for everybody, getting more support people, that kind of stuff, just to continue helping you guys grow. You always have a support load, you know, from IT, how it goes.
Yeah.
You have a support load. It's a balance of reps and tickets and time. That's how we're like reinvesting back into our customers, on top of doing a lot of these shows to help people grow their businesses. Because honestly, I don't know where it's going to go. Like, if big places are going to continue to be closed down, then people have to double down on demand, on e-commerce, and take their printers home.
Yep. They have to take their printers home. And I think, you know, now's the time too to start, learn your printer, learn the ins and outs. And, you know, I have a set of supplies that I bought to have on hand. So if something does happen, hopefully it's a quick fix where I'm taking some apart and, you know, rather than having to, you know, put a ticket in and waiting for shipping. Because you know what, a ticketing system, what people don't understand what the ticketing system is, it's the order received, right?
Yep.
There's so many people who own printers, and there's so many people who are ahead of you, and there's a line of order, and, you know, until you can understand that, it's hard, you know. And we you know, at work, it's the same thing. Everybody's crying because their mouse ain't working. You know, it's been down, or it's glitching.
Yeah.
But you got a guy whose computer is down.
Yeah.
Who's not complaining, but it's like, well, he's a little more important than the mouse. You can still function.
Yeah.
So it's things like that you just got to understand. And I get it. You know, there's going to be some issues where people wanting stuff, but at the same time, you know, you just got to be patient and know your printer, and hopefully if you can do things yourself.
Yep.
You know,
have backup. You know, it's super important. Make sure you have the basics, you know, as backup. It's like you're not going to go on a road trip without your tire, you know, without your spare tire. And a lot of people, don't have any backup, right? So make sure you guys have backup for stuff, make plans. You don't have to be an IT guy to have a contingency plans, you know? Even at the beginning, we did a huge live and we're like, all right, guys, I'm gonna give you free cleaner. Make sure you flush out your printers if you're not gonna use them, or if you got kicked out of your shop, all that, just so that I can like get the people in the mindset of like the maintenance of their equipment. They can't just, leave it hanging, So those are a lot of things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis to keep customers pushing forward with their equipment and with their sales and stuff like that. So guys, make sure that you're always taking responsibility for whatever it is that you're doing and be able to do an order when the order comes. You don't want to be down, So that's an important lesson, Mike. What would you say is another challenge that you have?
Another challenge that I have is just understanding. I guess it's not a challenge. Just really probably maybe more on my end, just needing to learn it more. It's just maybe the rip. It's learning different techniques with certain things. Like polyester is like a big thing for me, because the reason why I bought the Plus was because the polyester.
Yeah. And
with the baseball community, all the jerseys are all polyester dry fit. So I figured, hey, that'd be a good market. I can, print a one-off shirt when you need a jersey, because not a screen printer is not going to just do one shirt.
Yep.
But I've just been having challenges getting the A4s, the polyester prints, just to come out right.
Yeah,
and
it's rough.
Yeah, so I'm practicing. It's just it's not working out, and you get frustrated, but at the same time, with anything, it's practice, it's time. And it's going to cost me money because I'm spending on shirts at the same time. But that would probably be another challenge of mine, is maybe just like the whole polyester printing and maybe some of the rip settings.
Settings for it. We've been doing. I'm not sure if you've seen them, Mike. We've been doing the Fridays like DTG Pro trainings.
Yeah, I've been watching those.
Cool. So I think we might do one on poly search, so we can show people how to do it. Which shirts work well, that kind of stuff. The dyes on those are all across the board.
Yeah.
So you got to find, a good brand that doesn't stain and all that, and then just hang your hat on it and offer it to your customers. So let's put on the list search so we can do a DTG Pro training based on like printing on polyester stuff. That would be super cool.
Yeah, that would be good, because right now I pulled that off my service list because it's just I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to provide it, because
you got to be ready. Don't stress yourself out if you don't know you could reliably print and deliver it, and you chosen the right shirt for you that you can get easily. And make sure you guys do wash tests, all that kind of stuff on anything you offer, because in the textile world, and this is not new with DTG or transfer or anything, screen printing, you're always going to have different fabrics from different parts of the world that are going to work super weird, and some are going to work well. So you always have to like have your go-to brands that that you can provide your customers, right? So that's important. Another thing is, why don't you tell us, Mike, like where people can reach you, how people can order, what are the services that you can provide people, that way they can start interacting with you.
Yeah, so right now, basically my main feed of communication is Instagram. It's Nav Custom Vinyl is the Instagram page name. And we offer anything from stickers to heat transfers, sublimation, screen print, embroidery, anything you can think of, we can do it. And if we can't do it, we can do it. So
figure out a way. So guys, at Nav Custom Vinyl, make sure you DM him. That way he could spend countless hours messaging you back.
Yeah. and anybody who needs help with stuff, just believe me, I'm here to help. I'm not the person that'll shy away from helping or thinking that you're out to get me or put me out of business. Starting this whole business was not easy. Nobody wanted to help me. Everybody was afraid. Nobody wanted to share information. So I want to be the opposite. I want to help someone do what I'm doing. And if they can make a little money on the side doing something, whether it's screen print, whether, hey, I'll be more than happy to give you any tips, any numbers, anything that I have that I can help. Hey, hit me up.
Work Print Shop Automation Suite 2020 is the newest edition of the print business workflow optimization and management software by OmniPrint International Inc. With Work, print shops of all sizes can get a cohesive overview of their business while streamlining the order fulfillment process from order entry all the way up to the moment it's shipped out the door. The Work main dashboard provides an all-in-one informative interface which informs the user of important statistics, including total orders, total completed that day, productivity, and supply usage. With Work's front-end LiveStore, customers can choose from the user's selection of blank apparel, customize the graphic and print settings, and easily place the order complete with shipping methods and payment confirmation. The order then enters the dashboard and a barcode is instantly generated, which contains the print job's data for garment type, rip settings, and shipping info. With a single scan of this barcode, the print job is instantly queued up and printed for order fulfillment. With the same barcode, shipping data can be queued up, which tells the user where it's being shipped, how, and with which carrier. Work Print Shop Automation Suite 2020.
One of the places where we're releasing these videos first is in our group to make sure that, like I said earlier, we want to build a community of people winning. And if you guys can share and if you guys can help each other in the groups, this group is made to do just that. So we're releasing a lot of the stuff first there. And that's the machine circulating during the call, which is super cool. Make sure that you guys are helping each other and helping each other grow and do business together and stuff like that. That's a super important goal for me. And that's why I'm doing a lot of these things, just to get people connected, get people open-minded to new things and start winning. You know, we have a lot of people that are really killing it right now, just because of e-commerce and print on demand. And I want everybody to get on that success wagon, you know? So I want to summarize a little bit before I let you get back to work, Mike. Some of the stuff that you said is super good because I want to share what's actually working for you, right? You said, start saying yes, which is super important. And you said, have a plan. Don't just wing stuff. Have a plan, have a long-term plan on what you're doing. Your offer, make sure you have different products to offer, right? Different things. And I think one of the most important parts too is you're involving your family and you're, helping them learn. You're involving your kids, helping them to really understand what it takes to deliver an exchange of value and make money. So a lot of those things are super valuable for people. I really appreciate you for sharing those because sometimes this becomes a huge mountain and people miss the basics.
Right. Yep.
So thank you so much, Mike, for being here. We're probably at the hour mark almost. I really think that you've given people a lot of value. So make sure, guys, follow Nav Custom Vinyl, hit them up for your orders. Make sure that you guys are commenting, subscribing, what do you like, help the algorithm in there, show this video to others. If you want to be on a creators one-on-one session with me, hit me up on my DM, on any of our social media at OmniPrint International. Super glad to have you guys. Mike, buddy, thank you so much for your time. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you here around the office.
Yeah, Vic, appreciate it, man. Likewise, thank you, Serge, for helping out with this, and everybody else at OmniPrint for doing a good job and making sure we're all taken care of. So, looking forward to another one, man. I like this. This is good. I think we gotta keep this going.
Yeah, let's do a follow-up. Once you get some of the stuff implemented, maybe you could show people how you got your stuff automated and stuff like that. It'd be super cool.
Yeah, definitely like to do something like that. That'll be good.
Awesome. All right, Mike.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Bye.